If you're sending the same resume to 50 jobs and hearing nothing back, stop. The problem isn't your resume, it's your strategy. Sending applications into a black hole is stressful, but treating your job search like a numbers game means you've already lost to algorithms that are faster and colder than you. Let's look at the data. Since AI-enabled one-click applications became the norm, candidate volume has surged by 400%. Recruiters are drowning. They aren't reading your carefully crafted bullet points anymore. They spend an average of 3.2 seconds on an initial scan. 73% of the time, they decide to reject a candidate in under 4 seconds. That's barely enough time to read your name and your current title. You aren't imagining the black hole sensation. The front door is jammed with 400% more noise than it was just a year ago. So, if the front door is blocked, how do the top 2% of candidates actually get through? Here's the reality check. You might think that sending out 100 resumes a week increases your odds, but in this market, it actually does the opposite. You're becoming part of the noise that hiring managers are desperate to filter out. The shotgun approach signals a lack of focus, and frankly, a bit of desperation. If you can't bother to tailor your approach, why should they bother to read it? High-growth companies aren't looking for available people. They want capable people who understand their specific challenges. Every generic application you send is a withdrawal from your professional brand's equity. You are essentially telling the world that you don't know where you fit. This is why the top performers aren't just clicking apply. They are in the DMs and networks where the real decisions happen before a job is even posted. The front door is for people who want to be ignored. The side door is for those who want to be hired. The secret isn't in working harder. It's in shifting your identity. You need to stop acting like an applicant asking for a chance and start acting like an internal consultant offering a fix. Recruiters don't hire potential from an inbox. They hire solutions to the fire they are currently fighting. I call this the fire extinguisher rule. If your message doesn't look like a fire extinguisher, it's just more smoke in an already crowded room. LinkedIn direct messages have a response rate of over 10%. That's double the rate of traditional cold email. But there's a catch. Messages under 400 characters, roughly 60 words, receive 22% more replies than longer pitches. When you reach out with a solution-based mindset, the response rate jumps to nearly 40%. You aren't asking for a few minutes of their time. That's a debt. You're giving them a high-signal insight. That's a gift. If you can prove you're the answer in under 40 seconds, you've already won. Let's get practical with 3 templates you can use right now. First, the gap analysis. Don't say, "I'm looking for a job." Say, "Hi, Sarah. I was using the checkout on your mobile app and noticed a slight lag when adding items. I've handled similar latency issues before and would love to share how we cut load times by 40%. Any interest?" Short and high signal. Second, the mutual insight. This is strategic. "Hi, Mark. I saw your recent post about the shift toward generative AI in supply chains. I saw a similar pattern at my previous firm and found that specific insight was the only way to maintain margin. Would love to swap notes. You're building a bridge of expertise." Finally, the referral bridge. Referrals are 7 to 10 times more likely to be hired. "Hi, David. Our mutual friend Jane mentioned you're scaling the DevOps team. I led a similar migration last year. Is that a priority for the new hire?" You are identifying a pain point and positioning yourself as the relief. Personalized requests have a 72% higher acceptance rate. I hear this all the time, but I'm pivoting. My past doesn't match their future. If that's you, listen closely. A career pivot isn't about explaining your past. It's about proving you can solve their future. 98% of Fortune 500 companies use ATS filters that block 75% of resumes. If you're changing careers, those filters are your enemy. But a human being cares about ROI. Recruiters only spend 47 seconds on a deep dive scan of a profile. In those seconds, they need to see how your experience translates. If you're moving from teaching to project management, don't talk about lesson plans. Talk about managing 30 stakeholders with competing priorities to meet strict deadlines. Translate your value into their language. When you stop being an applicant and start being a consultant, your history matters less than your insight. I've seen people land interviews just by identifying a flaw in a company's public strategy and offering a thoughtful alternative. I want you to stop applying to 50 jobs today and start sending 3 messages that actually matter. That is your 24-hour sprint. Step 1, identify 3 companies you actually care about. Step 2, find the hiring manager for the department you want to be in. Step 3, perform a 10-minute gap search. Look at their recent news, their product, or their LinkedIn posts. Find one thing they are struggling with or one goal they are chasing. Step 4, send one 50-word message using the formulas we just talked about. Only 2 to 3% of applicants reach the interview stage through the front door. The math is against you there, but the math is in your favor if you stop being an applicant and start being the answer. This isn't easy, but the people who figure this out are the ones getting the callbacks. What's the one thing you're going to change in your outreach this week? The market has changed, but you have the tools to change with it. I'll see you in the next one.